Does that mean we're live? We're live. Anyway, let's get some unboxing. Starting with, first and foremost, I would like to thank me for being me. It's a Snoopy watch. I don't know if you guys watched that skit by Snoop Dogg, but what else is there to be said about the Snoopy watch? We get these in as much as humanly possibly, as much as we can. And at the end of the day, I think this is the best variation of the Snoopy Omega has made. Price has been holding strong around that 30 grand mark and haven't come down at any least bit. See them anywhere from high 20s to low 30s, depending on how new or used this is. And honestly, I'm happy this watch is selling at 30 grand. What's the original list on it? Anybody know?
Irrelevant. All right, so I'm gonna start with the top Rolex. And we have a 40 millimeter sub, 116610 LN. I mean, what more can I say about this watch? It pretty much speaks for itself. Discontinued with, actually, I think I saw here, a newer style card, which is somewhat collectible.
Oh, this is, oh wait, this is your favorite. You like these clean, you like the oysters.
OPs.
The OPs, no dates.
Down with OPP.
Oh look, it's stickered.
Stickers. Don't touch it.
Look, can you touch the stickers?
Sticker.
Adrian has talked about the OPs over and over and over, and I think your take is that it's just a much cleaner watch without the date, and I tend to agree with that.
It's more unique than Date-Just, you know? I'm just kind of tired of them.
Maybe because it's just Date-Just have been made for so long, and this is just something new and fresh, like a fresh look on a cheapest Rolex, I would say.
Behind this door, we have a Batman, no, I'm just kidding, Sprite. AKA, in my opinion, the Sierra Mist.
The Sierra Mist, whatever. It's the lefty Rolex.
Awesome.
Oh, sorry.
Look,
it's the lefty Rolex. I'm just trying to show the camera. You talk. I show the camera. You talk.
Okay, here's my honest thought about the watch. Obviously, when it came out, well, prior to it coming out, me and Christian did the renderings of me thinking it was going to come out actually the crown on the proper side, I'd like to say. And then when it came out, I was very, very disappointed because I don't think the demand for the crown on the left side was really there, but then I kind of thought about it a little bit, and actually you brought up a very good point about the Sprite, is that this could be down the line a collectible depending on
it will be, without a doubt.
Depending on, you know, if they and when they discontinue it, because at the end of the day, there's really nothing else like this on the market, especially from Rolex.
Chris, what did you call this?
Cash grab by Rolex.
A what?
Chris called it a cash grab by Rolex because they knew that was
anything is a cash grab by Rolex.
Where are we at on that?
Well, now they can be had in the low to mid 30s, a black dial steel Daytona.
Versus 40, 45?
Yeah, well, black's at the top at the high 40s.
High 40s. The white one's always popular, and rightfully so, because I think the white pops better, although...
It does pop better, but there is definitely something to be said about that all black. It's like it's got just a stealth look.
For me, the all black is a lot more reminiscent of the OG Daytona before this, because it just kind of blends in, it's plainer. Like when you take the white dial, it just screams new ceramic Daytona. When you look at the black one, it's still a lot more reminiscent to me of the older piece. I don't know, maybe it's just me.
It's definitely just you.
So how about you talk about this guy?
So what this is, guys, is a Lange 191029 or 128. 191028. This is a Lange blue. So what's so special about this watch? This watch was actually in production only for 1 year.
Which was
2017. So it's a highly, highly collectible piece. You'll see some auction prices and you'll actually see some really, really, really big numbers or Chrono 24. So I'm very excited to have this because first off, I think the Lange 1, it's almost like the perfect watch, right? You have, it's got elements of sport, it's got elements of, you know, being refined, elegant, and then with this blue dial, it's just killer. It's sleek, it's clean.
So they made it for 1 year. At the time they were making this watch, their total production numbers were probably hovering around 3,000 watches. I think, you sure there's 17, not 14?
17.
17. Yeah. So in 2017, their production numbers were hovering around that 3,000 pieces a year range. I approximately know that. And if they made this watch for a year, like you can fairly say that
it's got to be under 100 units.
It's got to be under 100.
It's got to be under 100 units, and it's so beautiful.
Here's a sleeper, as I like to call it, and these have been sleeping for a while, and that is the Grand Complication Patek Philippe 5270, which is the child of the 5970 in a larger size, perpetual calendar chronograph from Patek.
They've been pretty consistent in terms of market value for the longest time. I mean, this watch came out.
What's the retail on it?
The retail on it, the last time retail, from what I understand, was right around the 170 mark.
Right, but they're still trading under list, and I don't understand for the life of me why. When somebody was paying, this was 150, and somebody was paying almost 300,000 for a 5711 Rose, and it just kills me because from a complication perspective, from a horological perspective, this blows any Nautilus out of the water. And what Patek did really well is they also gave it the size,
A
meaning
little bit
that
bigger than the 5970. Yep.
exactly, 5970 was I think 2 or 3 millimeters smaller, and that was a true desk watch. This is a sporty look
42
in a grand complication, and it's just, yeah, the 5970 was 38 millimeters, I believe. So this is a lot bigger. So again, it's one of those
How
things.
about 5270 rose gold on a bracelet? So basically the black dial version with this watch on a bracelet was less than a 5711 rose gold.
That just kills me. I'm sorry. That absolutely.
That's probably to me the biggest sleeper Patek on the market. The 5204R on a bracelet and the 5270 on a bracelet. Extremely.
I think those watches on straps, both white gold, rose gold, platinum salmon. I mean, I think they're all sleepers. I think the one they just came out with is a banger. So I used the case that we got from the watch stand, shout out to watch stand, to put in a couple of Rolexes. I'll let you talk about them because seemingly these two Daytonas would be like on the bottom of the totem pole in terms of popularity, would you say? But that's also what makes them sleepers.
That's a hard one to say, right?
Wait, let's go with Oysterflex.
Okay,
Would you say that's the least popular Oysterflex?
In yellow gold,
With that dial?
minus the white dial, this is probably comes in second to last place. Obviously, you had the YML version, which is the champagne with the black subs, and yellow gold was probably the most popular. I think there was a Chinese actor or something during an award show that wore that.
Right. They all blew up.
That's also known as the Paul Newman dials. But listen, at the end of the day,
I like the vintage look on it, right? The lemon sub dials, everything about it just works for me.
Yeah. Beautiful pieces with the red accents. It kind of gives us some character, gives us some pop.
The black ceramic.
It's great. You got at first when the Oysterflexes came out, I was not a big fan of them because you think Daytona and you think it's just the quintessential sports watch on a bracelet.
I think there was a different reason because the years you've been in the business, you've been in the business a long time, and if you remember going back before any of these crazes, the worst Rolex was always the Rolex on the strap. It was kind of like a round Frank Mueller or a round Richard Mille. It's like that was just it, right? And then all of a sudden with the Oysterflex, I mean, they changed the game around, so I got to give them props for that.
The game, yeah.
What do you think of the white gold with that dial?
You know what? I love this dial. I do have to say I am a big proponent of white gold Daytonas overall. To me, look, it always goes back to being in the game for so long and seeing certain style trends over the years, right? Rose gold Daytonas, as of recently, obviously came way back up in popularity. But I saw for the longest time a lot of our mutual friends, right, women wearing the rose gold Daytona. So when that tends to happen for me as a man, I tend to kind of stray away from it. And then when the white golds came on, I kind of like the precious metal element to it and the fact that you could differentiate it pretty well from a stainless steel one, right? If you see this, you know that it's white gold.
But if you go back to times where the price levels were quite different, these could have gotten at a discount. I think that white gold Rolexes that seemingly people think, oh, that may be stainless steel. I think there were second unpopular to the strap models. And that has turned around big time now.
Absolutely.
Because people still want the Daytona. There's a slew of people out there that won't buy a Daytona. They want a Daytona, but their average price in the collection is like $50, $60, $100,000. So they can't bring themselves to put on a stainless steel Daytona. Let's say that's a $20,000, $30,000 watch. But a lot of them have gone to the precious metal Daytonas in white gold. Therefore, they're getting the Daytona, but yet they feel like it's an expensive watch.
Listen, I mean, at the peak, this watch was 10% in precious metal, was 10% more than a stainless steel one.
Yeah.
So at that point, a lot of people think.
What's the market on one of these now?
Market on these, it went from 65 to brand new, not that big of a drop. It's still in the low 50s, high 40s, pending condition.
Well, that's what happens when the watch doesn't really go crazy. So it's like what goes crazy.
Same thing with the blue dial. As a matter of fact, the white gold blue dial is probably one of my favorite modern day Rolexes. I love that. I'll take that white gold one and forget about market value. I'd take it over a John Mayer.
I wish
it's my favorite precious metal.
I've told you that before too, but I low key wish they come out with the John Mayer dial in a white gold. That would to me would be killer.
Yeah.
Speaking of killer, we got some special things. This is a rainbow dated. This is as pavé as it comes, right? They come without the diamond bracelet as well. So this is the richest version of this watch. They took a day date in 36 millimeter. They jumped on the bandwagon on rainbow. Low key wish this was a rainbow bezel.
It has nothing to do with the rainbow.
It does because of the dial. It's the rainbow markers. Well, if you go back to rainbow days and you go back to oyster quartz in the 70s, they made a a Day-Date Oyster quartz where they had the rainbow dial. So this is technically somewhat of a repeat from the 70s, right? Those things are like $300 some thousand, right? It's super collectible. And it's an Oyster quartz, a quartz watch, right? This is a 36 millimeter Day-Date. If they made this in a 41 millimeter,
Absolutely.
I think this would be trading in the upwards where the Tiger Eyes are, where
It'd be a $300,000 watch.
It would be a $300,000 watch.
Yeah.
Instead, this is about 150.
Yeah, because
which is
it's
still good.
It's fit, yeah, because more or less 9 times out of 10 it's fitted for a lady. As a matter of fact, I highly prefer the Piguet bracelet to it not having a bracelet.
This is a good fit on my wrist, and I would wear this watch until my wife would take it off my wrist and say I kind of like this.
Probably the cleanest version of a Date-Just possible in 41. Blue, stick dial, fluted bezel.
You don't think the unfluted bezel?
Yes, there's too much jubilation for my taste
Too
overall.
much jubilation. There he comes with the big words.
At the end of the day, it's still so clean. It's blue. Like, it's such a good looking blue, though. You know what I mean? Like, I will say this. This is a better blue than Patek makes. This is a better blue than AP makes. Right here.
All right, Omega Geeks. We got a couple here. Nick, what can you tell me about this?
This is the Apollo 17.
I don't know.
Alright, so this is the Apollo 17. This is actually the same patch that they used for Apollo 17 with NASA, which obviously shows the American eagle flying behind the Greek god of Apollo. This is another 42 millimeter watch. This is actually the last Apollo mission and the last Apollo watch they used.
Well, what's one other special thing about this watch, specifically the dial?
Again, that's the literal.
What's most special about the dial? That's actually a silver metal inside that dial. So the dial itself is made out of silver. So when they made the Apollo and American Eagle and the whole to do,
Silver metal.
it's actually a silver metal.
It's exactly what
little.
it's exactly what you're gonna get after my team wins the sales competition. A silver medal.
That's
With the gold medal, baby.
That's actually made out of silver. It's like actual silver. Like, when they refer to silver dials, they usually refer to gray dials or sometimes white dials that are silver-ish. But that's an actual silver dial. So now you know.
Okay, so this
is. You had to grab that. I was gonna leave that for last. All right.
Listen, it was right there.
Not a watch we ever get.
Guys, stainless steel Lange Odysseus. Now, I have a quarrel with the market, not the swatch, the market. Is how the hell has this came out the gate and has remained at the same price? I don't understand. Given the amount of production,
I have an answer.
Given the amount of production on this piece, from what I understand, I speak to a couple of Lange clients, and they said that it's about, if you walk in and you want to get one, it's a 3-year wait. This is the second one I've seen, personally.
Oftentimes what happens is the following. You have something that's so rare that everybody wants. There's a 3-year waiting list. You can't just walk into Lange and got this. You have to be a Lange customer. You have to have history, blah, 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 blah.
Here it is on the
It's a watch
wrist,
that retails for what, around 40 grand?
Yeah, I mean, it's
And sells
spectacular.
for what, 100?
Almost 100. It's
Okay.
just spectacular.
So it's a watch that's 2x, a little more, right? But here's what happens. In order for something to continually go up in price, there's 2 things that can happen. Once in a while, you get some asshole in our business that will take a Royal Oak anniversary and put it up on Chrono for $600,000.
Yeah.
The watch that retails for 40 grand, right? That happens once in a while, and then at the same time, you get some asshole to buy it, right? In order for a watch or any item really in any market to go up in value, it has to trade. It has to trade. It has to trade. It has to trade.
There isn't enough exposure in the market.
It's not about exposure. There isn't enough product, right? In order for something to trade, you have to have product on the market. You know what happens is, I'm shocked that we actually got this watch.
Yeah.
Right? In fact,
It's the second
I'm so
one that I
shocked. This is the only second Odysseus and stainless steel bracelet that we've had since it's come out. We had a lot of the white gold ones. Well, a lot. Maybe
Close to 10.
close
white
to
gold.
10 versus
White gold.
2 of these. So 1 to 5 ratio, right? So what happens is that in order for the market to continually go up, but let's say if tomorrow if I was able to get one of these every month or so, in the very least, if I was able to get 10 of these throughout the year, I think eventually the price would go up because the market is set on the buy, not the sell. It's not like me going, oh, you know what, I want 150 for it now. It's me paying a number in order to get a product.
I'm coming from the perspective of clients calling in and requesting. You get 5711 blue dial requests all the time. You get the Royal Oak requests all the time. And then you have a brand that is up to par with both of them, and we barely get requests for them. And as a matter of fact, what you're holding in your hand right there, in my opinion, is probably the best thing that Lange did probably ever.
Girard Perregaux.
Quality control stickers, ladies and gentlemen, full stickers. This is brand spanking new.
All right, stop selling watches. This is an unboxing. The Neo Bridges from Girard Perregaux. a watch that, you know, is in that $20,000 price range, and it's a hell of a value. Again, a watch I could probably do an entire what's on my desk on to go through it. Girard-Perregaux has some amazing watchmaking. Unfortunately, Girard-Perregaux has caught a bad name in terms of resale value. So what ends up happening with Girard-Perregaux, even in some of their newer stuff, you end up getting deals. I was pleasantly surprised of how well the skeletons have performed as an alternative product to some of the other stuff. I am pleasantly
Great looking watch.
Yeah, I am pleasantly surprised to see their partnership again, going back to F1 with Aston Martin, right? Their carbon Aston Martin with the green dial trades at about 3 times its retail value, which is
What else we got?
another
one.
I have another Girard-Perregaux. Oh, plain. Oh look, it's a
Baby oak.
Oh look, it's a 15500. This is the Girard-Perregaux Laureato, clean white dial. I've seen this with multicolored dials. I feel
White's
like
clean.
this white really
Yep.
pops on this watch.
Agreed.
It's a nice size. It's comfortable on the wrist too for its size, surprisingly. I think I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is more comfortable than a Royal Oak or a Nautilus because of the way it sits on the wrist, considering how wide the lugs are on the bracelet going into the watch. And Adrian didn't argue. What is that?
This is just a Patek box for the 5270. Oh, wait a sec, where's the 5212? I know we got a 5212 in here. There it is.
See?
Where are you hiding at? There you are. All right, guys, so 5212 Calatrava in stainless steel. I think this is, again, minus the 6007A. This is probably my favorite Calatrava. Again, Calatrava has never been a big winner for me in terms of just anything. I think it was boring. I think it was just a grandpa's watch, although there's a lot of history behind the Calatrava. I think this spices it up and adds so much character to it. And I've seen, what I like about the strap is that it's very dynamic if you put it on, strap I mean. What's so dynamic about the watch is that you can put it on so many different straps I've seen, from so many different colors, and it's just so cool. It's got that elegance, it's got that sport feel. It's an overall sleeper.
This is a hell of a way to display a calendar watch. That's just me. You know?
Sick.
Yeah.
It's not for you though. If you got to wear your bifocals to read this, it's not for you.
Guys,
That concludes this week's unboxing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are also in a sales competition, Team Rowan against Team Adrian. And I just gotta say, I wish you luck. At the end of the day, this is all for the good of the company, but I'm still gonna whoop your ass.
I just sold a $2 million watch.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Doesn't matter, we're still winning. You go ahead, sell 3 mil, we're still winning.
All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys coming in. Do all the things on YouTube. Comment, like, subscribe, share, Instagram share, do whatever it is you do to help us grow. And
TikTok, LinkedIn.
Facebook, FedEx, UPS.
Presentation on LinkedIn.
It was all.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time.